All right, let's get started.
All right.
All right, welcome to the first RADER podcast in the new building.
Love it.
The first video podcast as well. So we'll see how this goes, guys.
Here we go.
We're just kind of winging it.
A lot of hours put into getting ready for this.
A lot of hours, a lot of dollars. So I want to start this security podcast thing on kind of a monthly basis. And obviously we've talked about this and I've put down some things I want to talk about. But the first thing I want to talk about is QR codes. So first of all, a QR code stands for quick response code. You've all seen them before. It's that two-dimensional matrix barcode. It kind of replaced UPC barcodes to a certain extent. UPC barcodes are older, they're larger, and they don't hold as much information, where QR codes are much smaller and hold way more information. Developed in Japan in 1994, which is interesting that it took like 20 years for them to become
I didn't know they were that
popular,
old.
15 years, yeah. They can be interpreted and read by most camera phones. I imagine most people know this.
Sure.
But if you don't, I'm not going to say just go find a random QR code, but maybe go on the website. The Wikipedia article for QR codes is great. And then open up your camera and go ahead and hold it up to that thing. And it's going to tell you where it's going to take you or what it's going to do. Extremely useful. But the reason I wanted to do this one is because there was a news article about, I guess, how did it go? Somebody supposedly, but is a great example of how these things can be maliciously used. Someone in downtown Lafayette went to go scan a QR code on a parking meter in order to attempt to pay to park, from the phone, the mobile website. But it was a malicious QR code that had been stickered over the legitimate QR code. Brought them to a malicious site. They entered their payment details. Bad guys used it to make some fraudulent charges. The article said at Walmart. It gets kind of suspect at that point, but that's exactly how QR codes can be manipulated for malicious intent. Okay. So, yeah, there was some talk about the office about this. Like, did this actually happen or is this somebody trying to get out of paying some bills? Regardless, this is legit. Like, You could do this to somebody.
Yes.
If I wanted to hack somebody's account, it'd be pretty easy. Hey, scan this QR code. So can QR codes be trusted in general?
QR codes are a tool to use, and they've got a lot of really, valuable uses. One of my favorites that comes to mind is now when I sign into the Disney Plus app on my television, it has a QR code I can scan with my camera and sign in from my phone. A lot easier than clicking with the remote T, Y, L. Yep. It just takes time. So the QR code is a valuable tool that can be used, and it's all about where you're using it or how you're using it. Is it in a trusted environment? Then QR codes should be trusted as much as the environment they're being found in. Is it in a public space? Be wary. It might be convenient to scan the QR code on that parking meter, but if that website looks funny or you're suspicious of what it's asking for, then ignore it and don't trust it, because that's how it's going to be used against you.
Gotcha. So can a QR code itself be hacked?
No. It's that QR code is unique to what it was designed to do. That is to say, if you scan a QR code that's supposed to be pointed at a certain website, then there's no way to change that.
The endpoint itself.
The end result there. It's just the QR code would be replaced with another QR code that is being used maliciously.
So two things to consider. One, the endpoint itself can still be hacked, right?
Sure.
If it's a website or a payment processing page. And then you can create malicious QR codes,
correct,
to take you to places that would then steal your information.
That's absolutely right.
But in its nature, though, QR codes can't be. You can't say these dots now represent this.
Correct.
The dot is the dot.
Exactly. That's right.
Okay. So, and I think you kind of hit on this already. And it seems like this really goes back to just being diligent, kind of like what we're supposed to do with email now. If there's an attachment, and you're not expecting it, be wary. Similar to QR codes? Like when do we want to watch out for this? And I think you kind of said that.
No, that's a great summary and a great, comparison. In the same way that you need to be, suspicious of emails that relate to financial data or, if it has you log into a site with username and password, anytime you're using sensitive information, that is when you need to be, at your most alert and keep that, security consideration front of mind. Same with QR codes. If it takes you to a sign-in site, you want to be wary. Is this a legitimate site? If it's asking for payment information, be wary. Is this a trusted location? Is this a trusted site? Am I accessing this, from some place that I think it can be reliable?
Excellent. I think that covers it, Tyler. Anything else we should say about QR codes?
No, I think that summarizes it well. As far as this series goes, there's infinite things to talk about. So I look forward to talking more.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we'll do this again in about a month.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, man.